resilient place. Yes, absolutely, Boston strong. And that was so powerfully demonstrated at the horrors of the Boston Marathon. You know, the people just came together and helped each other, the wounded and the injured. And some people literally gave the shirts off their back to tie tourniquets. And that was such an impressive, inspiring thing to see. And Boston really does symbolize what America is, the strength and the sense of community, coming together, helping each other. And this is also a city that knows how to relax and enjoy. Last night, just down the street from the hotel, we went to a tavern, Bukowski's Tavern. It was, again, it's a small place, but very warm and cozy and friendly. We were just wrapped up in that wonderful friendliness of Boston there. A real good neighborhood tavern. And then we went from there to the Union Oyster House, one of your legendary landmarks there. It is the oldest restaurant in all America, but also the freshest fish in all America. It was a wonderful experience there, and so we love coming back to Boston and enjoying this city. And this city is one that knows how to celebrate. And here we are today celebrating another Star Trek convention. Do you realize in 3 more years, Star Trek is going to be celebrating its golden anniversary? 50 years! That anniversary is thanks to all of you. I've said this many times, you know, Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek. But this phenomenon and this longevity of Star Trek was created by the fans, all of you, many fold. And just by looking at this audience, I can tell who the original fans were. We've reached that point now. You know who you are. But also, there are the next generation people, and we know who you are. And some of the children of the original fans are now bringing their children to Star Trek conventions. Last weekend, I was in Denver for a convention, and there was a newborn child, 6 weeks old, strapped to his father's chest at a Star Trek convention. I mean, that kid's fate is sealed. 6 weeks old and at a Star Trek convention. So thank you all very much for this incredible gift of this longevity. We're now 47 years old, 3 more years, and we'll get together and celebrate again. The golden anniversary of Star Trek. Now, the fun part of these conventions is the conversation with all of you. So, have they set up a mic or mics, plural?
Yes, we have mics on both sides of the stage.
Whereabouts are they?
They're just here left and right.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
And where's the other one? Oh, right here.
So
those of you on this side who want to share your thoughts, line up there.
I want up to the mic.
And this one already has a line here with someone who could double for Picard. You're first.
Greetings. Yeah, I'm an original person. Years for it.
Yes, but you're worrying the next generation.
Well, it's all part of the same family.
Absolutely. We embrace you all, our children and our grandchildren.
I have less of a question and more just wanting to thank you for being a breath of fresh air, for the way that you preserve people and take time and are very down to earth.
Preserve people.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
The way that you take time with people and relate to them one-on-one.
Well, I think it's well preserved.
You don't blitz through autographs. You know, you take
Oh, no, I don't believe in that. You know, because, as I said, you know, I feel that you are the ones that created this longevity for us. And, you know, it's just good manners to say thank you to the people who gave you something. And so, well, it is, but it's also good manners too. You know, because I want to say thank you to all of you. And we have these brief moments during the signing. And so it's my responsibility to fill those few moments with as much connection as possible. So, no, I believe in personalizing every little moment that we have together.
Well, some people notice, and I wanted to say thank you.
Well, thank you. Oh, Ron's here now.
Hi.
You respond very quickly.
My friends and I were wondering, what made you decide to be God? If anybody doesn't know, his posts on Facebook are hilarious. You're definitely being noticed even outside of the Star Trek movies. We all like it. It's really great to see you. It's a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for that. I got to be honest with you. It started out with a project that we've been nursing for the last few years. It's a musical that we've been developing on a little-known aspect of American history, the imprisonment of loyal American citizens, born, raised, many generations here. My grandparents came over from Japan. And yet, because war hysteria swept over this country, people started looking at people that looked like the people that bombed Pearl Harbor with suspicion and fear and downright hatred. And it's a dark chapter of American history that people don't know about. And that's been my mission to raise the awareness so that we can prevent something like that from happening again. And I've been going on university lectures, talking to corporations and government agencies. And I thought the best way to reach people both here and here is through a musical. Music has a way of penetrating the heart. And so we developed this musical called Allegiance. But, some of you have seen it already. We opened in San Diego last fall, and at the Old Globe Theater, which is a very respected regional theater. And we were having a series of sold-out houses. And so as we neared the closing point, the scheduled closing, the theater decided to give us an extension. And we ran, and the extension was all sold out. And we wound up breaking all the box office and attendance records in the 77th year history of the Old Globe Theater. And we got the 2012 Best Musical of the Year award from the San Diego Critics Circle. So that always well for New York, for Broadway. And so we've been planning to transfer to Broadway. And this was our idea from like about 2 years ago. And the challenge that we had with that was, it's a marketing challenge. It's a dark and rather shameful history of America. And we needed to first of all inform and educate the general public. And then to develop a little enthusiasm and want to see quality. And the best way to do that, I figured, was to use social media. But my social media audience was, at that time, based solely on the, bless your hearts, your sci-fi geeks and nerds. And so I started by talking about Star Trek and Star Wars and doing some funny pictures, which I learned were called memes, and making some commentary on that. And my audience grew. And so as my audience grew, I thought, well, I'll start dealing with some serious subjects. And equality for the LGBT community is another one of my subjects. A lot of friends here. And when I made those commentaries, our audience grew some more. And grew beyond the big sci-fi geeks and nerds. And as it grew and grew, I started introducing the subject of the internment of Japanese Americans. And it's continued to grow yet still. And so the initial impetus was very self-serving, to build an audience for Allegiance. Now we've got an audience. In fact, it was that audience that we developed with our social media that led to our box office success in San Diego. And we are now headed to New York and the Big White Way, Broadway. We will be opening next spring in March. And that's a wonderful time for a vacation in New York City. So you all come down to New York or Boston or wherever you're from and include Allegiance together with a wonderful springtime vacation in New York City. So that's how it all began. And I'm still having a lot of fun with it. Some people have questioned, how did George do that? Have that very successful social media program, Facebook and Twitter, and still do the conventions and the occasional TV guest appearances. Well, actually, I have help, strangely enough. My main helper is my hubby, Brad. Some people have mom-and-pop businesses. We have a pop-pop business. And Brad travels with me, so he needs some assistance too. So we have interns. We backlog a lot of the memes. And when we're traveling, like 2 weeks ago, we were in Singapore. And believe me, those international, transcontinental, transoceanic flights are brutal. 19 hours straight. Oh, and you don't know which way is up or down, because you're going to the southern hemisphere as well. So what was up, what was north is not like north anymore. The sun shines from the north, and the shady side is the south. Everything is turned upside down. You can't sleep at night, and you get sleepy during the daytime. And so we backlog all these posts, and we have the interns posted. And so I don't know why people think I'm the sole person that does that. It's physically and humanly impossible. And yet there was a Wire magazine story on the internet saying it was George Takei, not George Takei, and the saying that I'm a fake. Well, no, the commentaries are all mine. They're authentically mine. So thank you for giving me that opportunity to clarify that.
Thank you for the throwing. I look forward to seeing that.
Great. We'll see you in New York. Hello, how are you?
Good.
You're the third generation.
What was your favorite Star Trek film or episode?
Oh, well, let me tell you. It's the best of all the Star Trek movies. You all know what that is. Star Trek 6. And that is a wonderful story to begin with, and very relevant to the times of the the early 1990s. You know, it was about Chernobyl exploding and melting down. It was about the need for rapprochement between the Soviet Union and the United States, and the Cold War melting down. It was all that. But what really made it a powerful, dynamic story was it was subtitled "An Undiscovered Country." That's a nice phrase from Shakespeare, from Hamlet. But there is a better, more apt title for Star Trek VI. It's Captain Sulu to the Rescue. Because when you look at the whole movie, it is the Captain Sulu movie. You know, the movie has just like a play, has a beginning, middle, and end. How does it begin? With a brand new starship, with a brand new bridge, and seated in that power seat is a brand new captain. Captain Sulu, confidently sipping a cup of tea. Green tea, full of antioxidants. And then the drama begins. Praxis explodes, sort of like Chernobyl exploded. And he calls for shields, shields. But the waves, the vibration waves keep coming, and that's how the pounding drama begins. Now, at the crucial point near the climax, there's Captain Kirk in a space battle against the Klingons, and he is checkmated. He's about to be blown to smithereens by the Klingon captain, and just as he's about to be blown away, out of the darkened galaxy sky comes Captain Sulu at the Excelsior. And the last Klingon ship to smithereens, thus saving the life and the ship, the life of Captain Kirk and the ship, the Enterprise. And the classic ending of all Star Trek stories, on the bridge of the Enterprise. And there's Captain Kirk, the captain of the Enterprise, who looks up at that view screen and the giant image of this time Captain Sulu. The humbled and grateful Captain Kirk says, Sulu, thank you for saving my ass. Captain Sulu smiles and looks down at him and says, good to see you in action one more time. And then he roars off. And there's an awestruck McCoy looking at that view screen and says, by gum, that's a big ship. And Scotty chimes in with a twinkle in his eyes, hey, but not something that's had a captain, I think. That is the Captain Sulu movie. And that, my young Trekker, is my favorite Star Trek movie.